3, 2, 1. Okay, so today we'll be talking about ESE mini project. So the location that we've chosen is Park Royal on Pickering. So within my group, there is AC, Jewel, Ryan, and myself. So more on Park Royal on Pickering. It is a hotel in a garden design concept. It has a unique architecture and design and a great location. It's about 15,000 square meter in size. Is a seamless blend between cutting-edge environmental friendly practices and technology, meaning that Park Royal uses environmental friendly materials to act as a unique architecture design for their hotel, and they have a role in positioning Singapore as a world leader of green high-rise developments because Park Royal is one of the top environmental friendly hotel in Singapore. This is their awards that they achieve within the years. So I'll be talking about constructability. So firstly, they drew the inspiration from the landscape of Hong Lim Park, the design of Park Royal. It is an elevated garden of a green space. They have a private parking space, and they have a design like a city in the garden. And they uses materials like steel, which is a strong and a green material, and is also almost 100% recyclable lah. And they also uses concrete. So concrete will be molded into complex shapes and they also is a rigid material. So the concrete later you can see at the outside of the hotel, they uses concrete into molded into different shape and sizes, and they act as a design for the hotel. Next.
Next, we talk sustainable construction and how it enhances the resilience of the country. Sustainable construction is achieved when a building addresses the social, environmental, and economic issues to ensure the future of a viable and valuable industry. The different components of sustainable construction starts from the design process of the building to the operations of the building. Thus, we will cover how sustainable construction will enhance the resilience of the industry as sustainable materials are readily available in the world market, and how Park Royal on Pickering is an example. The companies involved in the project support and utilize a sustainable approach in the local industry of built environment. WOHA, the architecture firm for Park Royal on Pickering, focuses on environmental principles like building sustainably while still expressing architecturally. For this project, they focus on multiplying the greenery of the building vertically while keeping it within their high-rise building architecture. Tiong Group, the contractor of Park Royal Pickering, is an innovator and champion of practices that shapes a polished and sustainable environment. They pioneered using a mobile recycling system at local construction sites that recycle water for other construction use while reducing the sludge introduced into the drainage systems. They are also recipients of multiple BCA Green Awards like the BCA Built Environment Leadership Award over the years of their operation. This proves during their construction process, they chose a sustainable approach by engaging with Tiong Group. Next, based on the table above, it shows that sustainable construction using materials such as steel and other dry construction offer many advantages over its counterparts such as wet concrete-based construction, and as such enhances the resilience of the industry in materials that are much more readily available. For example, steel is a readily available material for construction as they are most recycled, which reduces the waste of such materials significantly. This ultimately leads to sustainable materials like steel being reused over and over again. Next, I'll be talking about the green features and innovations. Green and blue glass is used throughout the to improve solar performance and provides an abundance of natural daylight. Cascading greenery keeps the west-facing walls cool and reduces energy consumption needed to cool guest rooms. 51% of guest rooms corridors are designed with attractive garden spaces with natural light and fresh air, providing a green ambience for guests to enjoy. Roof terraces serve as recreational areas, offering a lush landscape for guests, as well as insulating the upper stories of the building from direct heat gain. Above-ground car park removes the need for excavation and was designed with extensive mechanical ventilation and artificial lighting. The landscaping also conceals the opening of the above-ground car park area while allowing in natural breeze and sunlight. The extensive landscape areas were built using minimal amounts of precious resources and are designed to be self-sustaining. The building's water usage is minimized through harvesting rainwater and usage of new water.
Next, I'll be talking about recycling and responsible use of Park Royal. How they do this is they have separate recycling bins for plastic, glass, paper, and in all the guest rooms as well as throughout the hotel to allow for greater convenience when recycling. For energy conservation, photo sensors are strategically placed to monitor the light levels. There are also fireproof staircase and entrances that are fitted with motion sensors to conserve energy consumption. We also have built-in rain sensors in landscape areas to turn off irrigation systems when a minimum level of rain is detected. In Park Royal, there is also the first development in Singapore built. It is also the first development in Singapore built using the Cobilex technology, a system that reduces concrete usage by placing void formers made from the environmentally friendly recycled plastics. Next, I will talk about energy and water saving features and targets. Spaces such as the external hotel corridors are designed to be naturally ventilated to reduce the amount of energy required to cool the building. The central chiller system was arranged in a manner which optimizes it for maximum efficiency, which incorporates different types of control system strategies from the building management system. Next, hot water is derived from using air-to-water heat pumps with coefficient of performance of a minimum 4.5. As ventilation systems, demand-based controls are used to minimize energy usage. To control fans in car parks and ventilation in spaces with air conditioner, carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide sensors are used. The building was also designed with having natural light to flow into areas such as lobbies and hotel corridors as well to maximize harvesting. Energy-efficient lamps such as LED and T5 type fluorescent lamps and water fittings are used throughout the entire building where applicable. Next, I will be talking about landscape and greenery. 15,000 meter square large tropical high-rise garden can be found at a hotel with over 50 different varieties of plants being grown in the garden. The vast greenery that is within the hotel helps absorb heat, shades hard surfaces, and evaporate transpiration, resulting in improved air quality as well as provide a cooler environment. Plants such as ferns, mondo grass, alocasia, and U-turn palms are selected with pest attacks in mind. This is because these plants reduce the amount of pest attacks, which ultimately leads to lesser maintenance required. The extensive use of ferns and palms along the building allows for a more efficient use of water, which then results in a low water xeriscape planting concept for most of the planting areas. Auto irrigation and fertigation systems installed for all the planted areas ensures that timer-controlled drip nozzles release low, steady, and precise amounts of water, as well as nutrients that are provided to the trees, shrubs, ground covers, vines, and potted plants. A diverse variety of species ranging from shade trees, tall palms, flowering plants, leafy shrubs, and overhanging creepers come together to create a lush tropical setting that is attractive not only to people but also to insects and birds, extending the green spaces from Hong Lim Park, which encourages the bringing that biodiversity in the city. Next, I'll be passing over to Brian for beautiful design.
Now I'll be talking about variable design, which is the extent to which the design of a building facilitates ease of construction. Next, we'll be explaining Park Royal on Pickering buildable design. This project is meant to be designed as a hotel and office in a garden, which then acts as a representation of how will be to increase green replacement in a high-rise development area, such as the Central Business District, otherwise known as CBD. which will also act as an architecturally striking as well as integrated and sustainable building all at the same time. The contoured podium design was inspired from a mixture of landscape bonsai arrangements that were closely followed to mimic natural landscapes as well as mountain rock formations and that of the contoured paddy fields of Southeast Asia. These contours are constructed with the aid of precast concrete elements of modular radii, which enables the complex facade to be built more easily. As for the ground level, the contours are able to portray dramatic outdoor plazas and gardens which transit smoothly into the interiors. Moving on to the next slide. The creased and streamlined tower blocks blend beautifully with the surrounding buildings. They are constructed into an open-sided courtyard configuration, breaking down the wall of buildings effect as well as maximizing views and daylight entering into the building. The glass used for the building creates a sheen that resembles the waters of the Singapore River adjacent to the hotel. The 4-story Sky Garden brings lush greenery directly to the rooms and breaks down the scale of the building. Areas such as corridors, lobbies, and common washrooms are designed with garden spaces with stepping stones, planting, and water features all in mind, as that will create an alluring resort ambience with natural light and fresh air, instead of just being in a 24-hour energy, mundane, air-conditioned environment. Tall overhangs work together with the leafy plants to provide shade for these spaces from the weather and direct heat from the sun. Moving on to the next slide. These landscapes are designed with self-sustaining in mind, so as to allow them to rely minimally on precious resources too. Rainwater collected from upper floors flow onto planters on the lower floors by gravity. This is further supported by the non-potable recycled newater, which will also be used for all water features for the garden. Photovoltaic cell arrays on the roof will be able to power grow lamps as well as softscape lighting, which will make this perhaps the world's first zero-energy sky garden. PARKROYAL on Pickering uses the material coaxiax, which reduces unnecessary weight in concrete slabs. This can be done by positioning hollow void formers within the slabs. This will then reduce the weight of concrete slab by up to 30% without negatively affecting its structural integrity. This in turn translates into a huge reduction in carbon dioxide emissions, up to 210 kg for every cubic meter of concrete displaced. With a lighter slab, beam sizes can be reduced, which in turn will lead to more ceiling space, thus improving construction productivity. This also enables architects to design larger span, flat slab structures to achieve more dramatic effects in the building's expression, which includes the possibility of spanning the cantilever slabs of the building as compared to a traditional beam and slab structure. This reduced rate of the building as a result of coaxiax also helps in optimizing the building's foundation. Moving on to the next slide. Thank you for listening to our presentation. And next will be our references.